I've never done this before. So I'm going to change the head from this clear head on an Epiphone Bandmaster. Absolutely beautiful instrument. But I don't like the tone. I find the clear head, which I chose, is a little bit brittle. And there's no kind of warmth and character to the tone of the banjo. So I'm going to put on this Remo fiber skin head. I've already had some raised eyebrows, but I'm looking for a much warmer, deeper tone. And I think this is going to give it to me. One can only find out and try. So, like I said, I've never done this before. I hope I have the right tools, and I believe, well, I watched Jim Pankey show me how to do it on a 5-string banjo. It looks dead easy. So the first thing we got to do, take off the strings. If you can believe, I've never taken all 4 strings off a banjo at the one time before in my life, in 40 years of playing. Okay, this all seems reasonably straightforward. So I'm going to have to take off the armrest, the tailpiece, and eventually the head. Got to undo these guys first. Leave everything where I can find it. Now, okay. So I don't have a drum key in the correct size, so I have all of these little socket screws, which I think I can figure out. There we go. So apparently you just loosen everything a little. Well, that's phenomenally annoying already. Now I'm just going to move this to the table. I think might be a better choice at this stage. Okay. Now everything is loose. Loose enough, apart from this one. Okay. Where's my armrest? We have another little bit to go. I might have to take off these two entirely just to free up the Ooh. Now, by all accounts, you don't have to take off all of the other ones. It's for the outtakes. We might have a bit to go on a few of them. Oh, I have 2 more on this side that haven't unloosened yet. All right, that's everything. So, beautiful. Tension band. Even sounds kind of nasty. Remo. All right, so that sits on top. Tension band sits on top of that. And what, by all accounts, the rest of it is dead easy? Reattach all of these bad boys. Especially because there's this ring here that won't stay in place. It's obviously held in place by the head, but there's a certain amount of trying to get everything to sit into place and keep that in place. And that's a lot harder than what I initially imagined it would be. Now I feel like I'm making progress. I've got 2 clips tight, and that's thankfully creating good downward pressure to keep it in place, which hopefully should let me get the rest of the clips in place. Whew, I think we're getting there. So I'm going to get all the clips in place before I start to do any kind of tension. Da, 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 da. Right. Oh, I missed one. Can you hear it? Now, suffice to say, that's all of the clips in place. I'm going to put back on the tailpiece now, or the armrest and the tailpiece. Put on some fresh strings, tighten it up, and I guess we're going to see what happens. I will say that I don't love this tailpiece. Sorry, armrest. I'm very bad at names. Just as a comfort thing, I don't love it. But that's neither here nor there. That's just a personal choice. So the head is on, but it's nowhere near being tight enough. So now I'm just going to go around and tighten each of these one at a time. Well, apparently there's all sorts of methods you can do, like every second one, go in like 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 1 o'clock, yeah. So we've been around a good few times, and most of them are reasonably, I say that as I find one that's like extremely loose. Even tightness across the head, that's what they told me. Aim for that, Enda. Okay, so everything now is tight, as in not falling off loose. And that's a good place to be. Now we're just about starting to get the arch top feel back on it, but I'm going to go and just use a drum dial on it so that we get kind of an indication of the head tension. I'm using a thing called a pocket dial from the Nashville Banjo Company, and it's a small little pocket-sized drum dial. You set it using a really hard surface, so I just use that on a metal surface. When I talked to the guys at the Nashville Banjo Company, they said that like a fiber skin head. So I should say, this has 3 settings for different types of heads. So there's a skin, standard, and simple. And when I talked to the guys, I explained that I was using these kind of fiber skin heads, and they said that to use the simple setting, not the standard, which would be for like your plain white or see-through, and skin is actual, like if you were using calf skin. So I'm going to try it with the simple, and we'll see what it looks like. So the setting right now is bang on 10 on the Nashville Banjo scale. And as we move it around, Over here, it's a 12. Over here, it's an 8. Back to a 10. Back to a 12. So that would suggest, I think if we try and aim for like a 10 or 11, so we're at an 11 here, and this is at a 10. So in theory, if I tighten these ones a little bit, we should get an 11. 11, 11, 11. Now we're up on a 12 here, so I might just loosen this bit a tiny bit. This up here is 10. Now there's a real soft section here where this is down at like 7. Right, so we're going to tighten down that part. And yeah, so this whole section down here is very much 7 and 8. And then we're back up to 11 here. So let's tighten this corner. Let's try that again. Now I've got a 10 up to a 12. And this is a consistent 12 all the way around here. And just this little section here needs another bit of a tighten. I think we should put on the tailpiece and some strings, because now we can tighten this bit as much as we like. But I'm going to be pretty curious to see what it sounds like. I'm sure you are too. I have to say that I think this is the most terrible design. I don't know how you could have it that the tailpiece doesn't just float unless it's connected to the strings, but it feels like really loose and haphazard, you know. That wouldn't it be better if this was like a really solid connection, so that when you tie on your strings, that you're not relying on them to hold this in place? That, to me, and I'd love to hear what people think, but that aspect of it seems kind of nuts to me. That it even exists, that the strings have to hold up the tailpiece. Right then. So I'm going to use new tone strings. They're the ones that were on it. I don't love them. I think maybe I have that kind of acidic sweat syndrome or whatever they call it, where unless the string is wound, coated in silicone or whatever, whatever they use on elixir strings, these just die in 48 hours. And that is no good for me. So here we are with this ridiculous tailpiece that now just wants to fall off. Somebody please explain to me in the comments how this is an idea that makes any sense. It makes no sense to my brain. And I don't like the idea that if it's just the way that we always did it, then that's why we continue to use these tailpieces. But if there's an engineering reason that I'm not familiar with, please let me know. Well, we're getting close to some sort of a moment of something. pop the resonator on the back. I have a feeling I'm already going to really like this. All right, let's just, I haven't even checked the drum head. Brand new strings, gonna be a little rattly. So I need to put the mic out here just so that it's similar to where I had it for the first recording. So in conclusion, there's lots to be done now in terms of just refining the setup. So there's some intonation problems and it's a little bit itty-bitty on different bits. But tonally, I way prefer this. There's nature to it now, there's depth. It's not that just, there's something about that harsh, bright sound that I personally just don't like anymore. But maybe the most successful thing is that I changed the head and it still sounds like a banjo. I've never done that before. I definitely want to hear your comments. If you have any questions, just drop them in the comment box and I'll get back to you.